That is Johnny Diaz and Beauty of the Cross on CHVN. I'm Christy Fabry, joined by Kim Rempel. Now, Kim, I was just about to say, how are you? But how is your day going today so far?
My day is great.
Great.
How is yours?
My day, well, it's okay. My iPhone got smashed to smithereens yesterday.
Oh.
So it's been interesting, but it could be worse. That's what I always say.
Good. Thankful is good.
Yeah, that's right. So you are a writer and an editor. Is that right? So what do you do as far as writing goes and editing?
I write a lot of articles for different publications, magazines, Manitoba Cooperator, The Carillon on occasion, that kind of thing.
Cool.
And I've edited anything from articles and bios to mystery novels.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep. And you have some books out, right?
I do. Yeah, I have a poetry collection and just released actually a funny mom quote book called Why Is There a Hippo in the Toilet?
How did you think of that title?
And other funny things moms say. It's just a collection of crazy things we parents end up saying to our children, like, why is there a hippo in the toilet?
That's so cool.
Don't dance on the table saw. Just weird things you'd think you'd never say.
Awesome. That sounds cool. Well, since you're a writer, you have a way with words, and you posted something on Facebook that caught my attention because I've often thought of that. So we're going to talk about what that is, and it has to do with the question, how are you? How it's asked and how it's answered. So I'm curious what your thoughts are. That is coming up in the next 15 minutes right here on CHVN. You are listening to CHVN 95.1 FM, and that's Chris Bray with All Things. I'm Christy Fabry, joined by Kim Rempel, who is a writer and an editor. And Kim has a really great way with words, and she posted something on Facebook recently that caught my eye. Can you share with us, Kim, what you had written?
Sure, Christy. What I had written was that sometimes the question, hi, how are you, is the most painful, grating question for hurting people to hear. And we say it like we say hello. And I had challenged readers, I had said, if you were not allowed to ever ask that question as a greeting again, what alternate greetings would you use?
It can be such a mindless thing when we say, hi, how are you? Good, how are you? It's just, it becomes almost normal to say it without thinking about the response.
Mm-hmm. And it gets a little robotic.
Yeah.
It feels so meaningless, and why are we doing it?
Yeah. And so what did you get as a response from people when you posted that?
There was a surprising amount of response. Some were people who were themselves ill or suffering, or they had people close to them who were, and they totally identify with the pain that question can cause when it seems insincere.
Mm-hmm.
And others just chimed in saying, yes, I'm working on saying more sincere greetings too.
Yeah.
And made some suggestions on how they do that.
And so what are some good suggestions that you've had from people, or that you even yourself try to use instead of asking how are you, or in your answering?
There were a few. I think my favorite, and the one that was suggested the most, was, hey, it's good to see you.
Yeah, and then you're not asking that question that opens the response, and it's not that robotic thing again.
Mm-hmm. Or even, how are things going for you, seems to be suggested a lot too. Then it's about circumstances and things, more about feelings, I guess.
Yeah. And I think this also opens the topic of really watching for people's response. In if you do ask, how are you? If they just say, oh, I'm okay, or all right, then that prompts us to ask, well, why? How are you doing? And take it a step further, because there can be so many hurting people out there that we miss because we don't notice.
That really is the key, right? Sincerity. It really... Yeah. It doesn't matter. There is no magic question to ask, I don't think, that will buy you sincerity. You have to be sincere in caring about people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Kim.
Thank you so much for having me on.
And how do people find out more about you? Do you have a website?
I do. It's KimberlyDawnRempel.com.
Awesome. And your book, what is it called again? It sounds so funny.
The book is called Why Is There a Hippo in the Toilet? And Other Funny Things Moms Say.
Awesome.
And it is available on the site. Hard copies are available as well.
Awesome. Can you give us that website one more time?
Sure. It's KimberlyDawnRempel.com.
Awesome. Thank you for your thoughts, Kim. That's really going to, change the way of thinking for a lot of people, and myself included.
Oh, me too. I have to work on that too.
Yeah, absolutely.